Hello. We have just a couple of people here today. So let me see. Hi, Sherry. You want to mute your mics over there, everybody? We have today, Commander Lee just got back today from Hohenwald, Tennessee, and up on Goshen Mountaintop. So he's going to tell us a little bit of what he felt up there in the spirit as a prelude to us going up there for Sukkot. Sit on the front.
I can't walk through you.
I'm glad to see you, Lee. I thought you might never come back.
I was tempted. Yes, I got back at 2 a.m. this morning, and it was the whole trip was around right at about just over 2,000 miles, and only one. I felt your prayers. We had only one close call, and but it, there was nothing, no contact, but it would have been close, and that's darkening my face. I didn't get a deep tan. It's just that this is dealing with the camera.
You want to turn it off? Open it up?
No, it needs to be closed. But anyway, yeah. But the camera is still going the same way. Okay,
Anyway, go ahead.
they can see me and hear me. No technical difficulties yet. So we went up there. Of course, I don't know if you've heard, Jackson was supposed to go with me, but he had something go on with him. And so I continued on by myself. Getting there, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, of course, I've been there before, but they had a new caretaker, and they're a young couple, right about 30, have two children. He's been overseas as a missionary before. He doesn't want to get that out, but doesn't want to advertise that fact. But he dealt with some interesting people. Hopefully, you'll hear from him in the future. Ministering to Muslims in Egypt.
Know who he is.
Mac Fulcher.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can see him on the think tank. And he's very interesting. They're into holistic living. They ferment a lot of juices, a lot of whatever, anything they can ferment as far as that. And I went to go see some Amish people that they have a community over there. And he ministered to one of the boys. He has cystic fibrosis. Okay, the property. Like I said, we had been there before. I brought some videos back. Jackson has yet to edit them and bring it up full form on the think tank and different things. So it's a beautiful property. It really is. The houses are there. Some of them are livable. Most of them are. The ones that are not just need work, but they're up. They're still in good shape, but they need cabinets, beds, sometimes doors, even walls. Insulation is there. It's all off the grid. If you haven't been there, it's all solar panels and generators. There are at least 2 that I know of freshwater springs. Well, I've never heard of a saltwater spring. Have you? No, neither. But they're really nice. I was supposed to get some water back to have it tested. That's one of the things I didn't get done. But the water is very, very good. They do filter it, but I'm sure up at the source, which is on the property. Matt has 200 acres there. And that was one of the reasons why he bought the property, because of, I think, even 5 springs. I forget. But a lot of water is not a problem. Water is not a problem. See, hold on. Yeah, everybody's had air conditioning this weekend, so it's tearing my nose up. I just saw things, as far as in spirit, just came to me, just looking around, that it can be a permanent place for people, mostly for a retreat. It would be good to have a school up there for an extended period of time. You can get the teachers there, get the people there to live in that environment, to stay there and study. And I'm not seeing the place as the same thing as a some of you know I was in Youth with a Mission, which was a youth organization to go in different places in the world. What I saw this place as was a place to teach people how to teach, how to preach. From this facility, we can send people as they catch different visions and as the Father leads to go to different places that have a remnant of the Ahad in those places and to establish works. I would like to see a school to how to begin it in prayer and fasting, a work, and then to go physically on the ground and do it. So a school like that would be great, especially there, because you're isolated. 15 miles or 15 minutes from a medical facility. As I looked at Google, and that's what it said. I don't know if that was helicopter, teleportation, or by mule, by Shirley. They have a mule that watches their goats down in the pastures. Her name is Shirley. And
Does she have a last name?
Shirley? I didn't ask.
Goodness is her last name.
Shirley Goodness? Ah, okay.
And Mercy. Shirley
Goodness and Mercy. But I wouldn't want to mess with her. I heard she has an attitude of protecting those sheep. Matt said, I asked Matt Miller, would Shirley give her life to protect those sheep? Without a hesitation, he said yes. He said yes. So, okay. The other group that is thinking about going or have been opened up to them is this Torah observant singles seeking spouses. It's another Facebook page that some of us have been on, that Matt opened it up to come through, ask the Ahad to do that. And I can see where two different groups could be there and separate, but interacting as they would like. I don't know if they have any teaching going on since their original Sukkot area was not available anymore. Matt's spirit, let me just explain some of that. He looks at it, he is the owner, but he looks more at himself as a steward. Very humble man, but when you get him on a roll, he can be aggressive, but in his core, I believe he's a very humble man. How can you not be and have two little white dogs that sleep with you at night? You know, they're cute. They're good dogs. They're good dogs. I didn't see them this time. We met Matt. I called Matt up and I wanted to meet with him while I was there. And it was suggested we just go out to eat. And we had a good time there. He's mentioned, as far as the fee for their $25 a head, a la carte. Now, we've been wondering what a la carte means. Does he going to serve us ice cream and apple pie or what? You know, so I asked him. And he says, no. He says, I'm so wrapped up with my business in this thing. I can't do anything else on the property. Finances are tight. So if we want to improve it, it's going to be amongst us that provide that. There are a few things that I see can happen. Tent sites are at a premium because it is so hilly. And because it's hilly, you have springs. Usually it doesn't come up on flat land. Well, sometimes it does. But it's it's hilly, not mountainous, but there is good size elevation where they have to take a T-Rex or a four-wheel drive around. So it's walking everywhere. It's kind of tough. What was I saying that for?
They do have some four-wheel vehicles.
Yeah, they do, but they're limited. And now if we have...
What is a la carte?
A la carte means that he can't... What he meant by that was that he can't provide anything extra.
So it's just you come, it's $25, you figure out the rest.
Exactly. Your food, your lodging, everything is on you. He's out of it.
That's why we're charging $75.
Okay, but so he's charging
for
these things.
Food and stuff.
Okay. And he probably would come up for some of the teaching and different things. I don't know if he's going to teach this time. I didn't ask him that. And there was something, Mac and his wife went to a Bible study during that time I was there. So I went with them. And it's one woman who had lived there. Now, this is not gossip. This is just speaking to character. Does everybody say that when they gossip? I don't know. something happened. A woman that had built a house there and that had left, and she said they put $40,000 into this house, and Mac only gave them like 15. I mean, Matt. The thing of it is, I had to ask Matt about this, because if that would have been left in my spirit, it would have been something that I, take up an offense, if the term is. I heard something, and I have an attitude towards Matt, because of what was said, and that came into my spirit. So I had to get it straight. And that's what Scripture says. Go back to the person when you hear this thing and get it straight. Well, I did. Right at the table, I repeated what this woman said. Now, she said it to me. It wasn't third hand, so it was not gossiping but I went back to the source. I went to Matt. What he said was, they put the money in. I never promised them anything.
Oh.
I never promised them anything to reimburse anything. They were there, put the house in. There was no agreement to do anything as far as buying the house from them. And so they still hold an offense. And that's between them and the father to get things straight. But as far as my relationship with Matt and this woman, well, I didn't talk to the woman after that, but Matt and I had to have a good relationship, because I was representing the Ahad there, and Matt was representing the property in a sense. So that to me spoke volumes to Matt's character, that I could say something like that to him and him not getting defensive. And his motives were pure. He gave them $15,000 on that house just because, he didn't even have to give him that. So, that's just for me to speak to Matt's character. Now, he says we all have flaws. We're not perfectly sharp as far as, sharpening iron type thing. We haven't had the finishing edges put on our blade. So it was a good time. I got to see Mac and Sophia and their spirit. And, listening to them, what they have for this property, some of their past, and some of the questions I didn't ask, that didn't need to be asked, but they're questions in my mind. Their children are very well behaved, in my opinion, and they are. They're good kids, and so they're young. They're maybe 12, 13, and 10. A boy and a girl. Is somebody falling down out there?
Mm-hmm. Take a look. There it is.
Okay. So I took pictures. I made comments on what I was taking pictures at. Now, if we go there, that's up to the Ahad, and that's up to the consensus to vote on or to decide. I did my job that I was sent there to do, I felt. And the Clarks, I stopped off overnight at the Clarks, had a great time there. Hospitality was excellent. Got to hear his vision, got to talk to her a little bit just before I left. And I woke up at 3 when Michael leaves, and prayed for him, he prayed for me, and I felt his prayers the whole time. So his property that they have, I think it was 6, I might be mistaken, some acres a few miles from where they're living now. And they want to develop that into a site of some sort, building a house slowly and everything. And I think that's why it's not going to debt. Going through Atlanta, if you've ever gone through Atlanta, you know what I'm talking about. So actually a couple of times I had to go through there because of the airport, and then trying to get out of there to go west. So and going to see the Amish. I hadn't seen Amish for quite a while. One of the pictures of their carriages are on the menagerie. The group of pictures I put together, which Jackson will edit and present to you. So I feel that the property does still have potential. And like I said, it's not a turnkey type of place, but it'll keep us all together. And I would say test us test us again in our community skills, in our brother-sister skills, as every meeting that we have together seems to be. So that's not going to change. But this place is available to us to improve, to grow into something that would benefit the kingdom, I believe. And again, Matt's spirit there is as a steward. And so if we present something to do or to, this, of course, not sell the place, but within reason. And he wants to make sure what we ask to do is okay with the custodian guy, with Matt, because he's the one that's going to have to fix it up or maintain it at this time. I went over a little bit about the past custodians and everything, but I'll leave that for one-on-one with people that knew the situation when we were there before. That would be almost like gossiping, like told it in this venue. So I'd like to go back. I really would. We went to a health food store run by an Amish man, Henry Miller, or I think 95% of the name of Miller, and Dushkoffen. Anyway, they had a thing in there. I don't know if you know, I have 30% function on my kidneys from when the hospital told me that. So I went in there and he sold me some pills that was actual dried, refined kidneys from a bovine, from a cow. So if I start mooing or I have this tendency to eat grass, what it does is you actually, like the heart, you eat the heart and it helps your heart from a clean animal, of course, grass-fed and very healthy. Well, these pills come out of New Zealand or somewhere down there. And I'm supposed to take them and they actually begin to replenish my kidneys. So that to me was a personal blessing as far as my health is concerned. And we all would like to stay around a few more years, as long as our destiny needs to be fulfilled. And learned a lot about that from a lot of our Kabbalistic teachings is about destiny. And their feeling is that when you don't fulfill your destiny, you come back, your soul comes back in a future body in order to fulfill that. That is some of their teaching. Now, I'm not advocating that teaching. What I've heard before was if someone in our upline, genetically, our relatives before had not fulfilled their destiny, that destiny of a scroll that's put in our guardian angel's pocket, written down, and those assignments, in a sense, are up to us at the generation that's here now to fulfill.
Yeah, but not this person is coming.
Exactly. But
the destiny, I can understand. It has to be
that
fulfilled.
if your relatives, your grandfather, great, had a destiny and they didn't fulfill it, that assignment, in a sense, falls to you, falls to Phil, falls to Pete, Jackson's brothers. So hopefully we're, my side, my family is fulfilling some of those destinies that we can have, and pray that we do even our own. So I learned that this week. I was gone from Saturday to Saturday and put 2,000 miles on the car. We've got that's besides, we've got a sun pass now. So we don't have to, run the lights. Not that we do, of course. So that was my time there. I had good sleep, and this, I was up since 8 o'clock yesterday morning. Drove 850 miles and got here this morning at 2 o'clock. So it's just 6 hours shy of 24 hours in driving. So I probably can use a couple of days to sleep.
Why do you do this? I mean, we've made a couple of trips up there now in the last month. Why? What's your motivation for doing it?
To further the kingdom of Elohim, and because I love the Yahad.
Thank you. One other thing I want to ask. Can you tell a little about how the Fulchers find ways to live holistically on that land? I know that they're fermenting stuff. Exactly what's that all about, if you know?
Well, we all know sauerkraut. We know if some of us, I didn't know what fermenting meant. So they ferment it in order to make it into a probiotic. As far as that, they do eat some meat. They don't eat a lot, but they do eat that way. They're very health conscious, and that's one of the kickers. She's talked about a kicker. They also believe that the earth was not round. I won't say the other word, but she talked about a kicker. Now, what brings people in? Now, the church has hellfire and brimstone. Why bring someone into the fold? Why bring someone into what they're doing to this walk? I don't have a kicker. I don't need a kicker. I'm not the one bringing them in. I just give them the news. How do they live holistically? They do have a garden. They get a lot of produce from the Amish, and they barter. How they eat. What did they have when I was there? Well, we didn't eat. One of the days was my fast day, and so I, didn't really have a meal with them.
Last time I was up there, they had a number of different condiments and stuff that they had picked right off the land.
Oh, yeah.
Sumac.
The sumac was another one he talked about, yeah. We all know poison sumac, or some of us might, but there's another one called staghorn sumac, which is actually edible certain times of the year. And they probably ferment that. Everything's fermented to make it good absorbability in your belly. And they say there's tons of sumac there. They had a whole table just lined up with the stuff. It looks like it's about 8 inches tall, and it looks like just red berries, this whole clump of things. It looks like a large asparagus tip. That's the shape of it. But it's large and red. And I don't know what it tastes like. I didn't have any. So they do pick off the property. They found some ginseng.
Yeah.
On the property.
Yeah. Did you happen to get to see that ginseng?
No, it was up on the further up in the trail, up on the if you follow the spring, the trail, which you'll see, and you won't see the trail, but you'll see the water coming down from. It's like staircase. It's literally staircases of slate that come out of the earth like this here, and they're just flowing like a small waterfall.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
All the way down.
I love that.
Yes. I mean, if you understand negative ions that are being produced by that, like a wave, like an ocean wave, it's a healthy place to be. From the water.
If you have kids, they'll be thrilled with all the things in nature to do there. Yeah. Cool.
So, wherever we go for Sukkot, the Father will be there. The Spirit, the Ruach will be there. I would vote for this place. Yes, I know it's far. I mean, like I said, it's 850 miles one way from me. From my house to their house, 850 miles. That's not an easy task. If I didn't have to do it in one day, I wouldn't. I would take at least 2 days to do it. But I wanted to get back to Sukkot and to be able to address you today. So but once you get there, you still have challenges. I won't lie about it. I won't, you'll see the pictures, you'll see the elevation and everything, but there is still ways to get around. And so it's worthwhile going, I really feel. When we were there before the first time as a group, was a boot camp, there was much spiritual things going on, much healing went on, and much conflict, but much reconciliation, I feel, during that time. And it's a lot of potential, but it needs a cleaning up. The houses and where we would stay need to be dusted. That's putting it mildly, but there's no animals kind of thing in there to make it unlivable. So there is vision. When you get there, you will see vision. You will have vision. The Ruach will bring you things that you can see being done with this place. So,
when is Sukkot?
Well, according to the Zadokite calendar, it's the 3rd. Well, we get there the 3rd and we leave the 12th, because of the day after Sabbath and the day before and the day after.
That's in October?
It's in October, of course.
Where can they find more information about it? Veryahad.org.
Veryahad.org. It had a website. It had a link there. And please sign up today, wherever you want to go. Sign up, because Sukkots are happening all over. You know, there's one even within the area within the Bible study we went to. They have a Sukkot going on that property, and he's putting in slabs for RVs. He's wiring it. He's putting all kinds of things on his property there. And so some people really go out with this thing. And this type of center can be that way in time and work. But as you work, you will get stronger physically and relationally with the Yahadim. So that's about all I can say without seeing the video coming up.
Very nice presentation.
Okay.
We'll get those videos up in a day or two, send out an email concerning that. Thank you you could have just stayed home today and rested. You wanted to get back here for Shabbat.
Yeah.
That's great. Good to see you.
And bring this news and revelation, well, not revelation, but this news, this good news to us today. Because time's a wasting.
Well, let's pray out then. Father Yahweh, first of all, we want to thank you for bringing Lee back safe and sound from this journey. Lots and lots of driving, lots of opportunities for the devil to sneak in. But I believe that you provided traveling mercies as well. And even my getting sick and flying home, I think that was part of your plan. Because Lee got to go by himself and experience the property and the people there. And now he comes back with a very enlightened report. Hallelujah. And for Sukkot, we pray that you would go ahead of us into this property and prepare it for us and bring to us the people we need to help us to come a little bit early and do what we need to do there. And we pray that not only that, but you would bring forth the right people to come. We look to Sukkot every year as a holiday and a holy day. And once again this year, we are having the privilege of putting this on for the benefit of those that never heard of Yahad or never heard of Essenes, because indeed we have a message for today, and you've already raised up this organization in such a way as to make us humble before you. So now we ask a blessing on everyone that's participated in this little time of sharing. And I pray that the rest of the Shabbat will be a time of not only rest, but enlightenment as well. Convict and convince the people we've gotten to spoke through the Yahad presentations today and the last week. And we just humbly give you the praise and glory for all you do in the name of our Master, Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, brother. That was great. What do you think, Valerie?
Yeah.
Gives him an A+ on that?
Yes.
And thank you all for coming. Sherry,
You're biased.
get a little rest.
But that's great.
We got the 333 Club coming up with Pat and Carl Archuleta, and their topic today is, was Cain seed validated through our Earth genetic history? That's going to be very interesting. So until next time, happy trails to you.